Welcome to the Customer Support Client Success Executive Brain Trust. It is March 2024, and we just finished an amazing Brain Trust session where we talked about career pathing for your people. We had a great lightning presentation by Kirsten, who's the Director of CX at Career Plug. She talked about a number of things, and then we went into breakout rooms and we had discussions about how people are, some unique things that people are doing with their career pathing for their employees. We're now in our panel discussion where some of us are going to contribute and summarize some of the discussion that we had. But before we do that, I'd like to send the time over to Kirsten to summarize the great presentation that she gave. So with that, Kirsten, could you kind of just, talk with us a little bit about what you talked about before we jump in?
Yes, for sure. Thank you. I shared some of the approaches that I took, especially with my team here at Career Plug, on creating different roles for the team. And that's primarily based on the needs of the team and the team members and their passions and the talents. So essentially, I just approach it by looking at the talents that they have, but also the opportunities and how they fit into the collective opportunities that we have. And then from there, creating a structure and roles that meet our needs and also help out our clients and make the overall organization better. I also talked a little bit about the skill set required to create your own career path, and that's primarily really taking ownership, being coachable and adaptable, just to name a few. And so from there, we split into the breakout rooms and talk more in depth about it.
And I have to say that her lightning talk gave a great primer to the breakout rooms. We always end our discussion, our breakout rooms, with a mural board where people can go and contribute some of the ideas that they had. And some of my favorite were creating CX alumni sessions where CX alumni can come together and talk, shadowing other teams as a leader, figuring out how to get a sense for some of the positions in other parts of the company, promote a safe environment for open feedback. So there's a lot. We have probably 80 sticky notes here of really good ideas. And I'd like to open it up to our panel here. What are some of the good ideas that you heard today? What are some of the things that hit you? Maybe even some of the things you do yourself. I'll open it up to anyone here to contribute. Please start by introducing yourself and then talking about some of your key takeaways from today.
Start us off. I am Patrick Stoner, Customer Engagement Manager at Videon. We are a relatively small organization with about mid-40s or so. And I directly manage two folks on our customer experience team. And we are a software and hardware platform that allows people to live stream. Some of the topics discussed in our breakout session, I was with two individuals that were from much larger organizations, one of like 1,400 and one of 7,000, I think. So it was really helpful to discuss with people that have larger organizations, have seen more of a success with large teams. The one gentleman, he manages 280 employees, which is a far stretch from two. So it's definitely invaluable to learn from them. Some of the key takeaways we had were to determine short-term priorities and long-term priorities. So kind of determining what that career path is, maybe immediately. It could mean just staying where you're at if it's necessary, depending on short-term priorities, but understanding long-term, maybe the end game isn't to stay there, but to grow onto other things, so on and so forth. Allowing employees to try different roles before total commitment, which was a concept of the one organization called a jungle gym, where employees are allowed to try a different role within a different department for several months to determine if A, it's a good fit for them, B, if it's a good fit for the organization, and if they would even want to make that commitment full time. And then another key takeaway was to encourage employees not to run away from something, but to run to something. That's kind of an inspiration tactic. So.
Excellent summary. Thank you so much, Patrick. That's great. Great idea shared in there. Tony, how about you?
For sure. What's up, everyone? My name is Tony DiBartolo. I'm Director of Customer Service with Focus V. It is a cannabis ancillary company for the vaporizer space in the cannabis scene. The breakout room was great for us. It was really unique because I think the handful of us all kind of shared similar concepts about incentivizing continued education, but how do we get to that objective? And there's a few different ways to do that. One of the things is obviously negotiating that in the compensation packages upon hiring, but also having stipends, which I thought was really cool. Courtney in our break room had brought this up, is having stipends for interest outside of the job responsibilities. So if they have certain milestones or metrics that they hit or exceed, they can then kind of go around and tinker and take out of that stipend, go have a course for some kind of business class or science, some kind of thing that they wanted to do. That was like a personal interest to them, not just directly related to their core responsibilities at the office. And I thought that was super cool. For me, like we've been able to kind of institute so far some degree of continuing education as part of comp packages, but we haven't expanded like into that next point to where you can actually go outside of those like responsibilities and explore those personal interests. But I think we really thought that would be a cool, unique little add-on for a lot of companies to maybe take advantage of in the future. And then I think what helped determine that jungle gym that Patrick was kind of talking about, they can kind of jump around to other things outside of work without really making that strong of a commitment. But really, we just kind of discussed incentivizing continuing education because that's really the way you can kind of see what the paths are going to dictate, And so we thought that was pretty cool. And it was cool just that we all kind of agreed on that and we all had some experience in that in the break room and we were able to relate to each other. That was pretty cool.
Excellent. Another perspective from a different angle, which I really like. Appreciate that, Tony. Anyone else have final thoughts on our breakouts today as it relates to career pathing?
One thing I really appreciated in our breakout room is the commitment to investing in the professional development of our team members. And very often I've seen it, and it doesn't have to be just a CX issue, but more of a leadership skill or the lack thereof is that we don't invest it, we don't take the time into coaching our direct reports or team members and getting them to be inspired and getting them to be motivated to pursue a career within CX, but also outside of CX. So I really like that it has to be an intentional effort for leaders to invest in the team members.
Yeah, that was really cool too. I think that segues perfectly. We did ask about 90 people who were on the call. Do you, actively support team members moving to other teams? And we know that this is, somewhat contested, debated thing. However, everyone on the call, 100% of people said yes. And so I think that does segue, Kirsten, perfectly. And what everyone else is saying here is we kind of have to embrace that and support that. And so it makes a lot of sense to do that. Folks, thank you so much for your summaries. Of course, I want to thank Y Meadows for putting this group together, for putting this network together. I want to thank Kirsten for such a great topic and all the preparation she did in preparing for this. And I want to thank everyone who showed up and giving 100% in those breakout rooms. We had a great, successful event today. We'll see you all at future events. Have a good one, everyone.
Thank you so much.